Hi guys, how are you doing? A quick live at the end of the year. Quite a lot is going on. Tomorrow we're going to have quite a few lives. Today I knew I had to come and preach, and I thank all of you for joining us in the preaching session. Now, more stories are coming out, actually conflicting stories regarding the Ooni of Ife and Olori Naomi. According to Linda Ikeji's blog, the Ooni of Ife and Olori Naomi have reconciled their differences, and this reconciliation was done by the former governorship aspirant Prince Eniola Olajumi, or according to claims from Prince Eniola Olajuni. As an indigene of Ondo State, where Olori Naomi is from, the prince took to Facebook to give updates in the Yoruba royal couple's relationship. He claimed that elders from the Ooni side and elders from Akure, where Olori Naomi is from, met on the evening of Wednesday, December 29, to help reconcile the couple. First question. I thought they said there was no problem. I thought they said there was no fight. How are they reconciling when there's no fight? I'm sorry. I'm not going to say much. He alleged that the meeting held in Akure and that the Olori's mother asked for forgiveness on her daughter's behalf. Battle is over, he wrote alongside a photo of the Olori being led to a waiting car by palace aides and uniformed officials. So it's a Facebook photo and it is right there. So that's one story. Now Summer Aku, on the other hand, says there's no such reconciliation. I saw that on her YouTube video. So Summer Aku says, Queen Naomi and Ooni are not back together, Palace informs Nigerian press. Elders try to reconcile but not yet successful. Video in her bio. So, what do we believe? Has there been a reconciliation? Money Junction 313 said, mind your business, sir. Like you are minding your business on my own life. If things were working in your life, will you not have a girlfriend right now that you'll be with this time of the year? You're on Daddy Freeze live, where Daddy Freeze does his job, and you're here making side comments and laughing at your elderly parents at home who refuse to raise you right. Your parents collected F9 in WAEC. They are jammed and even worse failure with regards to raising children. Because if they raised you well, do you think you'll be here shining your 32 teeth? I'm asking you, why must you always cast a shadow on the upbringing your parents gave you? Parents that are sitting at home, catapults, they meet them. Stray bullet, they meet them. And it's not their fault. Omo ale ton gbe waye ni. Omo komo, tan lomo ya. You said pained. Pain me. Now you suppose pain. Now, let me tell you wetin dey pain you. I go block you. That one go pain you and it go sweet me. Oh yeah, collect your blocking. Collect it. Swallow it well. You call yourself Money Junction. Meanwhile, you are the junction of Oshi. Junction of Rada, junction of poverty. If poverty were a human being, you are supposed to be the symbol of it. In fact, if you Google the word poverty, your picture will show up doing like this. You are the poster child for poverty. In fact, poverty in Africa should use you to do brand ambassador. Oh yeah, come and be going. Collect your blocking. So back to the topic at hand. Now, I have a problem. You see, some people say, mind your business, mind your business, mind your business. I have a problem with this. And my problem with this is, how did we get to a point where they are settling matter for a king? I don't know. I may be wrong. But I like the Ooni of Ife a lot, oh, and I like Olori Naomi. Don't mind the fact that initially I was hard on them because I didn't understand what an Oba was doing with a prophetess. But my problem is, yes, I know times are changing. Yes, I know things can never really be what they used to be. My problem, however, is how did we descend so low to the point where they are settling marital matter for a whole king? Is the king not the overall? Is he not supposed to be like a supreme leader? Now we need to be blocking all this. Here's another one here. Koboyo vibes. All these people come with their fake accounts. They are not real people. So, Koboyo, I no go talk. You will not feel them for your spirit, say they don't block you. Oh yeah, you go feel them now, you go feel them now. Just the watch. You go do it like rapture. Collect your blocking. That blocking no sweet. You don't suit you for house. Now so it's supposed to be. Now, if you want to join this live, please reach out. I would like to have a few people here who have something to say. The Oba that is almost like a spirit. All of a sudden now that they said family, they settle matter on top marriage. You don't know what a king is. Fine, I'm not saying it's right, but we remember what happened to Esther in the Bible. The king drunken called Vashti. Vashti refused to come. Immediately they arranged how they will replace her. I'm not saying that is what should happen now, but right now we've also gone, you see, before it was too far left, now it's going too far right. We have to find the middle ground and still maintain the sanctity of the marriage of a king and a queen. In my opinion, or maybe I'm old-fashioned. Okay, quite a few people are sending requests. Let's have this conversation. If you are Daniel, you sent a request, I tried to add you. You didn't accept. Guys, don't send requests if you don't want to come on because it makes it difficult. There are people who actually want to come on and they can't come on. Look at another one. La Construction Limited. Change the topic now. What's your business? What are you doing on my live? Hello, dear brother. How are you doing? You want collect blocking? You go collect too. Not you. You welcome.
I don't want to collect block you, I beg.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. What is your take on this matter?
I was listening to you and I knew quite a little bit of history about like some kings, Nigerian kings. One of them is that I love and respect a lot is Ooni. You know, he was very regal. He's human, but he had that aura around him. Another person that had that aura and has had it for a while is Oba Adeyemi. And then, you know, Adu Bayero is another person that had that class and that aura. But one thing I realize is as I grow older, then I begin to see the humanity side of kings, especially when they get replaced. I begin to see something different. I don't know if you also see that as well, Daddy Freeze, but
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
You see it as well?
Yes.
So the king that reigns before, when you were a kid, when you see their Rolls Royce, when you see their regal and stuff like that, when you grow a little older and you are privileged to see the changing dynamics of when things change between one king and the other, then you start, it's human. We start comparing. and say, hey, how was Oba Eniton Ugunwusi compared to how Oni Shijuade was. How was Oni Eniton Ugunwusi compared to how Oni Shijuade was almost like a god and all that, and but then he also was kind of in between my dad and my grandfather's age mate. He's older than my dad, but younger than my grandfather. He's very wealthy and all that. But Ooni Ogunwusi is kind of like at the best, at the very best, he'll be able to be my uncle, if not my most senior brother. So I think that affects it. That's one. Two, civilization affects a whole lot of things nowadays. We're losing our culture. I live in America. My dad tells me each time we call speaking, my dad tells me, hey, teach those children how to be able to prostrate. Let them understand that it is our culture. My children blows kisses, to their grandparents, and my dad is like, let them understand what the culture is. They don't necessarily have to do it, but just let them know how rich the culture is. In the age and time of people like Adebayo, Onishijuade, Sultan, the very first Sultan, Dasuki Sultan Mashido. You don't see a wife say, I am divorcing the king. And it's not because they were infallible. That's not what I'm saying. It's not because they did their best, but they just managed the affairs of their home in a better manner, and to be honest, I don't know the true dynamics of what's happening. We all don't know, to be honest. In between husband and wife, there is a lot of bedroom things that nobody knows apart from them and God, apart from those two people and God. Nobody can really say it. There has been lots of blogs that says Ooni and Olori has like 7 or 8 other wives. Some people say he has a professor as a wife. Nobody knows, So that's kind of like my take.
Thanks for that. That does make a lot of sense. I like the angle where you came from. Our culture is being eroded. There are no two ways to look at this. Our culture is definitely being eroded. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think prostrating is really necessary in 2021? Do you really think? I know it's a rich culture. I know we all enjoyed it, but that's just a thought. How many people still prostrate to greet their parents in 2021? I know most parents would like it. I know I still do it because if I'm with my mother-in-law, for instance, my mom, I've never prostrated to greet her. I just greet her, hello, mom, because my mom is white. You understand? But my dad, I still prostrate to greet him. I still prostrate to greet my uncles. I still, whether I like them or not, I still have to prostrate and greet them. But at the end of the day, are those the values I want to teach my child? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I'm at war with myself in regards to that. Is it really respect? Because they go prostrate for you, finish, curse you to your face.
Especially we Yorubas, Benny.
You understand what I'm talking about? So that's just one of the aspects. Now, I'm a very big supporter of divorce, especially when a marriage is emotionally traumatizing, physically traumatizing, sexually traumatizing, psychologically traumatizing. For any of those reasons, I believe a couple can get a divorce. Christ and the scriptures narrowed it down to adultery. But I personally believe that there are behaviors that can lead to adultery. And Christ also warned us that adultery is not only when you do it one on one. The moment your eye don't day inside the marriage, your marriage is as good as over. Especially when you now team it up with physical battery or emotional. You understand? The society in which the scriptures were written is a totally different society from now. Women were bought and sold, more or less. A father could give his daughter out in slavery without
Right.
batting an eye. I could go to war and win the war and take any woman I like as my wife. You know, that was the context in which much of scripture was written. So to try to find a common ground with the society today, where women wake up and become men, it's a bit tough. But at the same time, how do we my problem is most people do not realize that there's some things you can't do once you assume a throne. Let's remember the prince who abdicated the throne, where the current queen of England was now able to become the queen. He wanted to marry the love of his life,
right,
and it was not allowed. So he had to choose, because the wife they will give you in the palace will not leave you.
Right.
So for him to marry that woman, he had to give up the throne of England.
Right. I have a small say there, Daddy Phrase, a small contribution.
Yeah.
So my take is this. I am not a traditional person by nature. I try my best to avoid traditional institutions so that I don't have to be subjugated to those institutions. But my personal conviction is these things are meant to coexist.
I agree, but you see, what I'm trying to say is for tradition to be upheld, there's like Prince Harry now, because he married a divorcee, cannot be king of England. And that was the same thing. The prince who abdicated the throne to the current queen of England, he also married a divorcee. And he said, you know what? According to you can marry her. Nobody's saying you cannot, but you cannot marry her and be king. So there are certain rules that are in place because they don't want this kind of. Imagine Prince Philip had left the queen. Just imagine that they were settling. Family was coming from here. Family was coming from here. You see, people don't realize that when you assume the authority of a throne, you are no longer yourself. You are at the service of people. Just the way you can enjoy a Rolls Royce that a poor man cannot enjoy. Just the way you can say, I want that land, and they'll give it to you. Just the way you can do so many things and get away with it. There are some things that the poor people can do and get. A poor man can marry a divorcee. A poor man's wife can decide to leave him. Your wife, when you are choosing a wife, is not only she has figure eight. No, you can have concubines. That's why a king is allowed to have concubines, because the wife he has chosen to give him the next heir must be there for that wife responsibility. She doesn't have to be of course, they will not go and bring an ugly woman, but she might not be that your full spec. You can now get your full spec as concubine.
Benny.
But that your full spec, you cannot, because that your full spec, you chose her because you love her, because you are enticed by her, because no. As a king, your wife should be the person that will say yes, sir, to you. And you that you are marrying a king, you know you are going there to say yes, sir. And you also
I believe that's what this statement. We are aligned. We are aligned on that topic. And I believe that's where the statement.
It's going to always, if this is the precedent, it's going to keep ending like this.
I believe that's where the statement uneasy lies the head that wears the crown comes from.
But you see, the problem now is the heads that wear the crowns these days want it to be easy.
Agreed. 100%. Me and you were aligned on that.
Marrying a king, you can't just walk out. A woman that is supposed to marry a king should be raised as a queen. She doesn't become a queen. She was born a queen. She just assumed the position. Now, when she assumed the position, they are going to tell her, your husband is going to have concubine. It's not easy to be king. Go and ask David and Solomon. Christ and John the Baptist were not kings. When they gave Christ kingship, he ran. Let me read Bible for you.
And there are, this is not even Christ. There are some of the people, some maybe church folks or our grandfathers and people like that they give them opportunities to be king, and they're like, no, I cannot combine what I practice
Listen to this. John chapter 6 verse 15. When Yahushua saw that they were ready to force him to become their king, he slipped away into the hills by himself. He knew he could not be king. He knew that what it took to be king would affect his calling. If you go and read what it took to be kings in Israel, the king has the right to your sons, he has the right to your daughters, he has the right to 10% of everything you have, he has the right to the choicest land. Go and read the contract God had with Saul before he became king. And that was transferred to David and to other subsequent kings. So we need to realize that king and president are to the president wife he live am. King wife no fit live am. I'm not saying the Olori is wrong to leave. No, I support women leaving relationships that they are not comfortable in. However, by the statute of the status of the office of a king, he cannot just be left. It's like you are divorcing a whole nation. So that is my take on that regard. Next topic, I want to talk about Sylvester Oromoni.